So I recently dropped a video titled Why I Support Interracial Relationships. Now, don't get me wrong, I am in support of all relationships, right? I don't give a damn blue, black, red, all around. I don't give a damn. So long as you have a healthy, functional relationship, y'all have dealt with y'all traumas, y'all not bringing that into your own holiest of matrimony and putting that onto the kids, then by golly, please do it. We need more functional households, right? So long as you're loyal, you're faithful, you're there, there's a level of reciprocity within the love, there's respect, admiration. As long as you have those qualities, please, please, please get into relationships. Please, get into relationships, plan for marriage, plan for children. We need more good people reproducing on this planet. Now, there is a specific question that I've gotten even since I was a youngster, which is, like, why would a black guy date outside of his race? And I want to start the answer in a kind of, I guess, maybe unexpected way, which is to say, we're not technically dating outside of our race because we are human and therefore we're dating in the human race. I'm not trying to be funny right now. We are so deluded with this idea of race and complexion that we forget sometimes that, we're actually all the exact same genome type or, DNA structure. We're human. All of us are human. So maybe the question might be, why would a black man get in a relationship with somebody who doesn't share the same skin color or ethno background, as some may like to say? And the answer may be complex. There may be a multitude of answers, but the one that I've heard more times than not, and also I've had partial experiences of within my life, is that essentially as young black boys growing up, we learned to love or reciprocate love with those who loved us, who liked us, right? Some of us were a little more alternative. Some of us were, a little more quirky. Some of us eccentric. Some of us into things that were not necessarily this, status quo of so-called black culture. And so we never really fit into the mold in the way that we were supposed to. And I'm putting up these air quotes right now, right? Some dudes is because they had a certain look and the black girls didn't really gravitate towards that, the ones who were around them or whatever it may be. I'll be honest, it wasn't ever an aesthetic thing. Like there could be a physical attraction, but then there would be a cultural difference. And when I say culture, I'm not talking about like American culture, black culture. I'm talking about values. I'm talking about the way in which I perceived the world and saw the world. I'm talking about the places that I was willing to go, within my mind and how I saw life. As far as that was concerned, I was really an outcast. And I've heard this time and time again. There's some guys who they were anime guys or they were, video game guys or they were snowboarders instead of being, basketball players or whatever it may be. But whatever it may have been, there was a gravitation towards, people who gravitated or women who gravitated towards them were not the ones who look like them. It's like if you look at Jamie Foxx's story, you look at him, his was a little bit about the look, right? He wasn't necessarily the dude that the girls were checking for. And then all of a sudden he finds himself becoming Jamie Foxx and now they all want him. But he's already in a place, even though he gets a whole lot of smoke for this, where, he has had a history of dating a lot of white women. And again, for me, I don't see that as problematic ever. I actually am mind blown when I see how involved some people can be in somebody's dating preferences. Like, bro, why are you trying to decipher who somebody can and cannot? Who the hell are you with your miserable dust bunny self? Like, who are you? Nah, I see you. Oh, you hate your mama. I'm not supposed to be dating my mama. Okay? That's the first thing out the way. So I don't know why that always comes up. But yeah, if there's somebody that I resonate with as far as our value system, as far as they have an appreciation and affection, and I would want the same for everybody else out there. But the simple fact is, when you see a lot of brothers who start to date in that way, it's because there's a lack of cultural resonance. The things that they're looking for, they're necessarily not finding within this demographic. And these are the facts, folks. This is the reality. This ain't downing nobody. This ain't trying to bash nobody. I'm not trying to go off on you. These are just the facts. When you have a community of individuals who are 70% unmarried, 70% unmarried, and many don't even want marriage or even want to become what is necessary to be married, then you find yourself in other let's say, Asian community, Chinese community, whatever it may be, where they are on lock with marriage. Like it's, upwards to 80 something, 90% of marriage, 90 plus percent in Indians or Chinese or whatever. But these are the priorities within these communities. And so when you're somebody who is so focused on building a family, like building a stable foundation, and you don't have to step outside of who you truly are, you don't have to compromise on your eccentricity, your quirkiness, your whatever. There's a lot of the so-called black culture, which a lot of it is really just, I believe it's a lot of hip hop influence, obviously, but I've now called it criminal culture. The dysfunction, the toxicity, the whatever it is, the hookup culture. It's like a mishmash of some of the most degenerate behaviors that has been accepted. And thankfully, there's many who are breaking away from this. And notice, I didn't say the race thing because it's not based in race, it's based in culture. But unfortunately, you'll have a specific race of people in mass gravitating to a specific way of being, a specific culture. And they will adopt that way of being. That becomes their own personal character, their own personal way of being, right? So it becomes harder and harder to find somebody. Just like, again, it's become very difficult for, let's say, many men who want to become married to find somebody in the United States with that type of mentality, and maybe vice versa. I've never been on the other side, so I don't know. But there's a lot of men who want that. They're living in accordance with that. And they might find it difficult even just in the American ecosystem, or especially like liberal spaces within America. I'll put it more specific there, right? And it's funny because I've noticed that most, especially black and white couples, black husband, white wife, or, black wife, white husband, many of them come out of the church, etc., which makes sense for me because there's a level of acceptance and it's like seeing beyond this, like we are all God's children, etc. Unfortunately, when you start going to the liberal spaces, you start to notice that it's like, okay, yes, inclusivity, boom, 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 diversity, yes, yes, yes. But if you see a black man with a white woman, now it's problematic. Now he's an outcast. Now he's Andre 3000. You understand? So it's a simple equation. You learn to gravitate towards who gravitates towards you. Love who loves you, right? That's my principle for life. Look at me over here. Oh, Lord. 'Tis that season, folks. 'Tis that season, but we're going to keep it pushing. We're going to keep it rolling. We get to a place where we learn to love who loves us, which is a healthy place to be, which is when you have a level of self-dignity and you have a level of self-respect. Where you finally say, you know what, I don't need to prove something to somebody and be something else that I'm not in order to get this person's attention, in order to get their validation. And that's a healthy place to be. And I would hope that you would celebrate somebody in that decision. And I know that the backlash it's often deeper than meets the eye. It's coming from a place of insecurity to say, oh, so am I not good enough? Am I not willing to be chosen? Which is ironic because some of the very same people wouldn't choose you otherwise. Carlton was not a hot commodity within the so-called black community for millennia. All of a sudden, oh, Carlton's got a white wife. Now, okay, he's dating outside his race. Wait a minute. Y'all never check for him. Never. Carlton was never on anybody's wall. Will barely was, let alone Carl. I mean, it was Tupac before it was Will. That's what was being pushed. So a Carlton, the odds were he was going to end up with a woman who actually admired him. Y'all thought he was corny. She thought he was funny. That's simply how that works. That's a level of appreciation. She wanted to build with him. Oh, I see who you are. Even a lot of these, these athletes or whatever it is, some of them, it's like with what's his name? Jeremy Reeves situation. He has known that girl since middle school. And they were throwing a hissy fit that this man finally proposed at 28 years old, becoming an NFL player. Oh, see, always going after a white woman. That woman has held him down. She was there with the ramen. She was serving the ramen. She was doing whatever was necessary to help that man. Very few women, and I forget who was saying this recently, and it's something that I've always pondered on. Like, very few women, unfortunately, are going to be a Savannah James who are going to hold down to LeBron at 17, 16 years old, and then reap the benefits of being with an individual who has potential. Instead, y'all want you want the Build-A-Bear. You want the whole thing already constructed, and if that's your mentality, then you're likely going to end up with just any old body. You understand me? It's simple. And again, when this conversation oftentimes comes up, it is to do with, these so-called celebrities or whatever it may be. Oh, look at it, y'all. They're always going for the white one. They're always going for the white. Dig into the history and see how they were treated. Dig into the history and see who wanted them, who chose them, and who held them down. And you'll start to understand. And so maybe it will change your mentality and hopefully even the way we raise the next generation to say you got to look beyond that. We got to stop being so superficial. We got to stop being so focused on all the wrong things. You focus on what matters and you see somebody's character and who they truly are, and these things are upheld, then there's going to be, a natural gravitation. You still look at the statistics. Most black men are going to be with most black women. It's just, proximity and things of that nature. But it makes it so much more difficult when you feel a level of rejection. And there might be some people who are very insensitive. Oh, girl, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Well, look, you can boo-hoo all you want. The situation is going to be the very same. You just not, that man is going to overlook you when it's time when you not want them. You understand? As opposed to you actually having a level of introspection and seeing it for what it is. Don't get mad at it. Like, take notes. What are they really doing? Okay, maybe they're showing up different. They're doing different things. If you got too much pride, you're going to lose the game every single time. You're losing. You can't accept new information and you care who is the source. I'm not that type of dude. I'll take information from a toddler if it's good information. If they have wisdom, I'm going to accept the wisdom. It don't have to be somebody specific. Somebody said, oh, well, but you're not really a FBA, so you can't say nothing about it. I said, look, the truth is the truth at the end of the day. And if you're too prideful to allow in information that could actually benefit your life because of who the medium is, then that's on you. That's on you. I mean, hell, they say Jesus couldn't even get the people in his own town to listen to him. So you think you're going to shut me up because of what? Nah, there's somebody out there who's going to get this information. It's going to resonate and it's going to do something for your life. Simple as that. And so my little closing statement, my little wrap up is this. Love who loves you. Simple as that. Don't earn their affection. Yes, it's always good to become the best version of ourselves and present the best version. But if you got to become something other than what you are, you got to create a masquerade. You got to, get the money, get to the bag, get to this, get to that, have this lifestyle. That person will only be with you for whatever it is that you have. And I'll be damned if I find myself in that type of relationship. I'll be damned.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up. You know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises. You get to praising.